Good morning, comic book fans. Welcome back to Comics in 5 Minutes. I'm your loving host, Shorty, and today we're going to take a look at Napalm Lullaby. It's one that's made it onto my pull list. Shouldn't be a big surprise. It's Remender, who's done Deadly Class, one of my all-time favourite stories. If you've not read it, totally go and check it out. It's one of the best long-form stories I've read in years. And art by Bengal. Now, he's worked with Bengal before on, and I have to check here because I can never remember the name of it, Death or Glory, which was fine. It didn't really grab me, but it wasn't to do with the artwork. It was just the story itself, just like the setting, just didn't really work for me. This one does, though, but I have to stress right from the beginning, it made it onto my pull list kind of in spite of the fact that it didn't do everything I wanted it to. It made it onto my pull list because of the promise of what it will deliver down the line. And that is the biggest criticism I'm going to give it, is this issue 1 seems to revel in not telling us enough. And it does this basically through story and gaps in time and some fantastic effects and also art to a certain degree. So we're going to start with the artwork. Bengal is fantastic. And in this particular instance, he has done like the equivalent of an economy of words when it comes to writing, but with art. There is some fantastic detail in this. The cityscapes and the final double-page spread are absolutely spectacular. The fight scenes flow like liquid. It is amazing to see the dynamic action on the page. But he doesn't waste a single pen stroke. There are times he doesn't even bother putting a mouth on people because we know everything about what they're emoting from the eyebrows and the jaw. Like, everything is done. He doesn't need to put any extra lines on the page, and I absolutely adore that. I think it's spectacular. Similar for the writing, but this one it's way more obvious. Like I said, it revels in what it doesn't tell you. And to get this point across, I have to talk about the comic book, like actually what's in it. And there's no real spoilers in here. This is just like the text of the comic book I'm going to be discussing. But if you'd rather read it first, I totally get that. You can pause. You can go back and come back to us once you've read that one. It's totally cool. I hope you enjoy it. But it starts with a very specific kind of scene of a bunch of religious people protesting outside of somewhere. I don't know why, but in my head I thought family planning. And we find out that they are a couple of religious zealots, like really full-on, kind of like properly into it. Nicely, we find that Remender has not just made it one of the Abrahamic faiths, he's made up his own fictional god, which is nice to see. It keeps him safe, but I will say, the zealots of this religion do feel like, I feel like they have a lot of common with fundamentalists of some of the Abrahamic faiths. They seem to have a lot of talking points that would match. Like the Venn diagram wouldn't be that extravagant. But it is a safe way of doing it. And after one of these protests, they find, due to quite complicated reasons, a Kal-El kind of situation. The young alien child with superpowers. And I know you're thinking, man, the idea of, like, having a religious, fanatical zealot family with Superman, that'd be terrifying. So he jumps to 50 years later, and the world has gone to hell. It's full-on dystopia, and it looks fantastic while it's doing it. And we don't really find out much of what's happened. We know that there is almost certainly contact with aliens, or at least some non-human varietals, and advanced technology. We don't know particularly whys or wherefores. And some people might be thinking, but Shorty, with all these fantastic things of high technology and space travel or potential interdimensional travel, surely that's going to be an amazing place. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I do get your point, but also pretty much every dystopic fiction that I've heard of, like a near-future one, it isn't the fact that we don't have access to information and cool things. I don't need to quote 84 or Fahrenheit 451 here. These are things that just hopefully people know about. I know that right now we live in an age where the people living on the planet today have more access to technology and information than any other time in history, and tomorrow it'll be more so, and that doesn't make people free. In fact, it could go the other way if it is controlled by megalomaniacal religious zealotry, which appears to be what's happened here, but we don't know that. Like I say, there's really no through road. We simply get told the start point and then the end point, and we have to go through the story from there with a brother and sister who think they've got a way to maybe start tearing things down, but we don't know why, we don't know how, we don't know the current state of society other than it is bad and you wouldn't want to be there. But like I say, it feels like it's the point, and it comes across repeatedly, like not just in the time jump, but also the fact that an awful lot of the science fiction kind of stuff is not explained, the fact that the artistry takes itself only as far as it needs to go. I will say, it does some fantastic onomatopoeia. I've said before that, like, when you're reading dialogue on a page, the best way to really engage is to read it out loud. Certainly if you're a writer, you should be doing that to check natural stylings on it. And when I'm reading a comic book and in my head making the noises, and then when the shop's quiet, it's going, kafoom. It's just nice. It feels good to get a sense of what the world is trying to tell you. It's probably the only bit that I think really goes a little bit over the top, but I like the fact that it does. Like in everything else being kind of minimalist, that going too far, brilliant. Keep it up. Keep it right the hell up. So yeah, I really liked it. It is on my pull list. I will say, if you're not wanting a slow burn, creeping build of a story, might not be for you, but if that's your bag, this is going to be brilliant. That's it from me for now. I might have another random video coming out fairly soon, so make sure you like and subscribe and follow and whatever you need to do on whatever platform you see this on. Until I see you again, though, look after each other, everyone. Stay safe. Bye!